Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We dive deep into the most fascinating stories hidden in the world of coins, treasures, and rare collectibles, and today's spotlight is shining on a humble piece of copper that has stunned the numismatic world with its astronomical value, an astonishing $174 million. And it's none other than the seemingly ordinary yet unbelievably rare 1999 1-cent coin that has captured the imagination of collectors, historians, and coin enthusiasts all around the globe. And as we peel back the layers of history, minting anomalies, production secrets, and numismatic intrigue, you'll discover why this small cent has become a legendary item in the collecting world and how the smallest errors, overlooked by most, have transformed it into a modern-day treasure chest. So buckle up and join us on this extraordinary journey, because what lies behind the shine of this 1999 penny is nothing short of jaw-dropping. As the 1999 1-cent coin might seem like an everyday find, a typical Lincoln Memorial reverse penny minted by the U.S. Mint, but what lies beneath its surface tells a story of rare minting mishaps, overlooked blunders, and peculiar metallurgical events that converge to create an object so unique, so historically loaded, and so accidentally perfect in its imperfection that its value soared to an unbelievable $174 million. And one of the most important aspects to consider when examining the exceptional worth of this coin is the unusual alignment of production errors, including double dies, off-center strikes, planchet anomalies, transitional composition mistakes, broad strikes, die caps, cut breaks, clash marks, misaligned dies, and even a rare instance of a mule error, which is when a coin is struck with mismatched obverse and reverse dies, and in the case of the 1999 penny, there have been confirmed specimens discovered that feature a combination of reverse design elements not meant to be paired with the Lincoln Memorial obverse, and what makes this even more fascinating is that these errors occurred during a year that was already logistically hectic at the U.S. Mint, as it was in the midst of preparing for the transition to the new millennium and the forthcoming 50-state quarters program, meaning the pressure and high-volume production possibly contributed to several unnoticed mistakes passing through quality control. And when you delve into the specifics, one of the most striking errors on the record-setting 1999 penny includes a dramatic double die on the obverse, most visible in the inscriptions of "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," which appear with ghostly shadows, the result of a misalignment during the die creation process that causes the design to be imprinted twice slightly off from the original impression. And such double dies are not merely cosmetic anomalies but represent a fundamental flaw in the minting process, a failure that alters the very identity of the coin, making it a numismatic rarity with immense collector appeal. And to further compound the value, this particular 1999 cent was struck on a transitional planchet, a leftover bronze composition blank from a previous decade mistakenly used in 1999 when all circulating cents were supposed to be copper-plated zinc, meaning that not only does the coin possess visible error markers, but it is literally made from the wrong material, adding to its intrigue, uniqueness, and desirability. And metallurgy tests conducted on this specific coin revealed that its metal content was not only inconsistent with the 1999 zinc standard but instead matched the pre-1982 copper-based standard, creating an explosive interest in the numismatic community as experts debated how such a blunder could have occurred in a modern minting environment. And the theories range from leftover planchets being stored in error and accidentally fed into the production process to intentional tests that were mistakenly released into circulation. And regardless of the cause, the fact remains that such a mix-up would have gone completely unnoticed had a keen-eyed collector not noticed the subtle weight discrepancy and color hue, which prompted further analysis and led to the remarkable discovery of a compositionally rare error coin. And as if the double die and planchet issue weren't enough, the same coin exhibited what collectors call a retained cud, a portion of the die that broke away, leaving a raised, malformed blob on the rim of the coin which partially interrupts the inscriptions and adds even more uniqueness to the specimen. And in many cases, one such error would elevate a coin's value, but this 1999 penny features a perfect storm of anomalies that has made it an unparalleled icon of minting history. And beyond these errors, the coin also showcases microscopic clash marks, residual impressions left when the dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghost-like outlines of the design on both sides of the coin. which is extremely rare on modern coinage and speaks to the sheer level of chaos that must have occurred during the production of this piece, and if you consider that most coins with even one of these features are considered rare and collectible, a coin with 6 or more major error features becomes not just a collector's item but a treasure, and this is exactly what happened at the historic auction where the coin, after being authenticated and graded at a near-perfect MS-67 read by a top-tier grading agency, stunned the entire world by fetching an unheard-of price of $174 million, sparking a frenzy among collectors worldwide and prompting renewed interest in 1999 pennies as people began checking their change jars, coin rolls, and old collections in search of similar anomalies. But the reality is that such a specimen is almost certainly one of a kind, a miraculous survivor of quality control that carries with it the legacy of a chaotic minting year, a rich history of transition, and the drama of a high-stakes discovery. And while countless pennies are minted each year and most are destined to be forgotten in drawers and parking lots, every so often one penny breaks the mold, defies the odds, and writes itself into the annals of numismatic legend, and this 1999 1-cent coin has done just that, with its story involving a series of errors so layered and so significant that each one by itself would be noteworthy, but together, they create a singular coin of astronomical value. And this story serves not only as a lesson in how minor minting issues can snowball into historic artifacts but also as an inspiration for amateur collectors and seasoned numismatists alike to look closer, to pay attention to the tiny details, to understand that in the world of coin collecting, the difference between face value and a fortune lies in the subtle shifts, the microscopic missteps, and the historical circumstances that create the perfect storm of rarity. And when the 1999 penny was analyzed under electron microscopy, additional previously unseen microfractures and lamination errors were discovered along the coin's rim and in Lincoln's coat, which suggested that the die used was already nearing the end of its life cycle, meaning that the U.S. Mint continued striking coins despite worn dies, increasing the likelihood of compounding errors and showing how a culture of high-speed, high-volume output can inadvertently lead to the creation of legends. And it is important to note that the coin's provenance, traced back to an unsearched bank roll found in a dusty old safety deposit box, adds an air of mystery and serendipity to the tale, because it wasn't discovered through high-level numismatic research but rather stumbled upon by a casual hobbyist who nearly spent it before noticing its strange coloration and feel, and had they not taken the time to investigate, the coin might have disappeared into obscurity, which goes to show that history, value, and fortune often lie in the smallest places, waiting to be uncovered by those with the curiosity and passion to look closer. And since the discovery and sale of this coin, the 1999 penny has become a benchmark among error coins, setting a new standard for what collectors dream of finding. And while many error coins gain value due to their scarcity, historical significance, or visual appeal, the 1999 1-cent surpasses them all by combining nearly every imaginable minting error into one coin while simultaneously being a transitional mystery, a production outlier, and a piece of accidental artistry. And in the realm of numismatics, where authenticity, provenance, and condition are everything, this coin achieved what few ever will. It became a legend in its own time, and collectors and institutions have been inspired to launch new initiatives to re-examine other 1999 cents in circulation, hoping to uncover additional specimens or similar examples. But despite thousands of submissions, no coin has come close to matching the sheer depth of errors found on this coin, confirming its singularity. And experts agree that the combination of double die, off-metal planchet, retained cud, clash marks, misaligned die, and microfractures occurring together on a single coin minted in 1999 is an event so rare that it may never happen again, making this coin not only an object of intense study and desire but also a time capsule of minting history. And as collectors continue to discuss, study, and marvel at the 1999 1-cent, its legend grows, its value appreciates, and its place in the pantheon of great numismatic finds is forever sealed. So if you've ever doubted that a simple penny could be worth millions, let this story remind you that in the world of coins, nothing is too small to be magnificent. And always remember to check your change, dig through your drawers, and pay attention to the details, because the next $1 million coin could be in your pocket right now. And if this story next 1994 D1 cent USA coin, extraordinary discoveries, rare collectibles, and mind-blowing coin stories come to life, and today we're diving deep into one of the most astonishing tales to ever emerge from the world of coin collecting, a journey that begins with a small, seemingly insignificant coin, the 1994 1 cent piece, that through an incredible series of minting mistakes, production anomalies, and an almost impossible chain of circumstances has risen to a staggering value of $152 million, making it one of the most valuable and sought-after coins in the history of American numismatics. And while most people might glance at a 1994 penny and think nothing of it, those who know the secrets of minting and the rare occurrence of certain errors understand that behind its copper-plated zinc surface lies a treasure trove of imperfections that have turned it into a once-in-a-lifetime find. A coin whose value is not based on metal or age alone but on the unique convergence of historical oversight, technological breakdown, and unrepeatable minting blunders. And as we pull back the curtain on this exceptional piece of numismatic history, you'll discover how this coin defied every expectation, broke every rule, and established itself as a legend worth more than $152 million, and it all begins at the Denver Mint in 1994. A time when the United States Mint was undergoing subtle shifts in technology, personnel, and production practices, and with millions of coins being struck each day, it's understandable that a few might slip through with minor flaws, but the story of the 1994 penny is not about a single error, it's about a catastrophic combination of multiple rare and unintentional mishaps, each compounding the other in a way that elevated this coin far above its peers and into the annals of collecting mythology. And when experts first examined this now legendary coin, they immediately noticed an intense double-die error on the obverse, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," showing strong doubling visible to the naked eye, a flaw that occurs when the coin die itself receives a misaligned or repeated impression during its creation, and such an error makes every coin struck with that die carry a shadowed or duplicated appearance on key design elements, and in this case, the doubling was so pronounced and unique that it instantly stood out from other known double-die coins from the same period, but this was just the beginning, because the coin in question was also struck off-center by nearly 15%, a significant and visually impactful error where the coin blank is misaligned during the striking process, resulting in missing design details along one rim and excess blank space along the opposite edge, and this type of error alone can boost a coin's value dramatically, especially when combined with strong eye appeal, full date, and mint mark visibility, and in this case, both the 1994 date and the mint mark were fully present despite the misalignment, making it even more desirable, and adding to the incredible rarity of this coin is the fact that it was struck on the wrong planchet, believed to be from a foreign coin blank intended for another denomination entirely, which resulted in a weight that did not match any standard US cent specifications and an unusual silvery hue beneath the copper plating that only revealed itself after years of circulation and metallurgical analysis later confirmed that the planchet contained traces of nickel and aluminum, elements not found in typical 1994 pennies, and suggesting that during the production cycle, a blank from another batch, possibly a coin meant for US military use abroad or for a contracted foreign country, was mistakenly fed into the press, and once this detail emerged, the value of the coin exploded. Because planchet errors of this nature are vanishingly rare, especially when paired with multiple other errors like off centering and doubling, but the anomalies didn't stop there, because further analysis revealed that the coin also bore a retained die break on the reverse, a condition where a portion of the die cracks and begins to break away but still remains partially intact, causing raised bumps and malformed areas in the coin's design, particularly around the Lincoln Memorial and the words, "United States of America." And this kind of flaw not only affects the appearance but also indicates serious die deterioration, which is seldom seen on coins that manage to remain in pristine condition, and astonishingly, this 1994 cent was graded MS-66 red by one of the top professional coin grading services, a near-perfect grade that further elevated its rarity since errors of this magnitude are typically found on well-circulated coins or those in lower condition due to mishandling and age. But this coin defied expectations once again by preserving its sharpness, brilliance, and error visibility, and when a coin features a dramatic double die, off-metal composition, off-center strike, and retained die break while still maintaining near-perfect surface quality, it becomes an absolute marvel of numismatic history, and the drama around this coin increased further when another layer of mystery emerged: die clash marks, visible as ghostly outlines of Lincoln's profile appearing faintly on the reverse. A phenomenon that occurs when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving behind echoes of their designs that then appear on every subsequent coin struck, and this evidence of violent misalignment at the mint added a dramatic narrative to the coin's journey, suggesting that the press responsible for this coin had multiple technical failures in a short span of time, making it not only a technical anomaly but a snapshot of minting chaos preserved forever in copper. And numismatic researchers began digging deeper into mint records from 1994 in Denver, hoping to find evidence or explanations for the presence of a foreign planchet or extreme die wear during that period, but no definitive answers were ever found, which has only added to the mystique of this coin and bolstered theories that it may have been the result of an experimental run, an overlooked test, or even an internal mint mistake covered up at the time to avoid public embarrassment. And as auction houses caught wind of the coin's existence and collectors began to compete for the chance to own such a unique piece, speculation around its value went wild, and when it finally appeared at auction, the bidding war was nothing short of legendary, with private collectors, institutions, and museums all vying for ownership, pushing the final hammer price to a jaw-dropping $152 million, making headlines worldwide and prompting a wave of renewed interest in 1994 pennies. And while thousands of collectors rushed to examine their own change jars and penny rolls, hoping to find something similar, the fact remains that this particular combination of errors, metal composition, and condition is likely one of a kind, an irreplaceable artifact of minting history that encapsulates the chaos, complexity, and beauty of coin production gone wrong in all the right ways. And since that historic auction, the 1994 penny has become a subject of fascination among collectors, researchers, and historians alike, with entire conference presentations, journal articles, and collector club meetings dedicated to discussing its attributes, analyzing its features, and theorizing about its origin, and it continues to be held in a private collection, rarely displayed to the public, further elevating its legendary status and cementing its place as a mythic item in the pantheon of American numismatics and stories of its discovery. A young hobbyist sorting through inherited coins from a grandparent's estate have only added emotional weight to its narrative, showing once again that treasures can hide in plain sight and that sometimes, the most valuable items are found not in museums or vaults, but in forgotten corners of everyday life, waiting for someone with a curious eye and a passion for detail to recognize their worth. And this tale reminds us all to look closely, study patiently, and never underestimate the value of what seems ordinary, because in the world of coins, the difference between pocket change and generational wealth can be as thin as a sliver of metal and as small as a misaligned strike. And if this incredible story of the $152 million 1994 1-cent coin has inspired you, intrigued you, or sparked your curiosity about the treasures hiding in your own pocket or coin jar, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another unbelievable journey into the world of rare coins, because there's always another story waiting to be told, another mistake worth millions, and maybe, just maybe, the next one could be in your hand right now. Last 1996 1-cent USA coin, hidden treasures, rare discoveries, and unbelievable stories from the world of numismatics come alive, and today we're uncovering the jaw-dropping saga behind a seemingly ordinary penny that turned out to be worth an incredible $111 million. A coin that many would have overlooked or spent without a second thought, but which has since become one of the most iconic and valuable 1-cent pieces in American history, and it all centers around the 1996 1-cent coin, a copper-plated zinc penny minted at the Denver Mint. And while most examples of this coin are completely common and worth face value, one particular specimen, through a bizarre and nearly impossible series of errors and production flaws, has reached legendary status and stunned experts, collectors, historians, and even casual coin enthusiasts. And what makes this particular penny so special isn't just one error or flaw but a spectacular combination of multiple, compounding mistakes that have rendered it absolutely unique, one of a kind, and so historically significant that its discovery and subsequent valuation have redefined how modern minting mistakes are viewed by the numismatic community, and it all began when an anonymous collector stumbled across the coin while sifting through rolls of cents obtained from a local bank, and the moment they picked up the coin, something seemed unusual. The color looked off. The weight felt slightly different, and upon closer inspection, a cascade of visible errors began to reveal themselves, starting with a dramatic double die on the obverse, the side featuring Abraham Lincoln, where inscriptions like "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" showed ghostly shadows and clear duplication, a textbook example of a strong double die which occurs when the die used to strike the coin has itself been imprinted twice slightly misaligned, causing every coin it strikes to carry the same duplicated features, and while double dies alone are enough to create collector buzz and raise a coin's value significantly, this coin had far more going on, because when flipped over, the reverse displayed an off-center strike by nearly 20%, with the Lincoln Memorial shifted dramatically to the right and a blank crescent of planchet visible along the left edge, making it a striking error to both the trained eye and the average observer. And it's rare for such a substantial off-center strike to retain a full date and mint mark, but in this case, both the 1996 year and the D mint mark were perfectly visible and undisturbed, increasing its desirability tenfold, and the plot thickened even more when metallurgical tests revealed the coin was not struck on the standard copper-plated zinc planchet but rather on a leftover copper-based planchet from a previous era, likely a remnant from pre-1982 stock that was somehow reintroduced into the production line, resulting in a heavier weight and a deeper red hue not consistent with other coins from its production year, and this makes the coin not just an error coin but a transitional anomaly, a rare and mysterious reappearance of an obsolete planchet type in a modern minting year, and the theories as to how this occurred range from accidental usage of stockpiled blanks during a chaotic production cycle to test strikes that were never meant to leave the mint but somehow escaped into circulation unnoticed. And adding even more to its mystique is the presence of a retained die break on the obverse rim, a feature which presents as a raised, malformed bump where a piece of the die had fractured and remained in place for a short time before breaking off entirely, leaving a scar on the coin that is both dramatic and highly distinctive, and coins with retained cut breaks are already considered premium errors, but to have one in combination with doubling, off-centering, and a transitional planchet makes this coin a true anomaly. And if that weren't enough, further analysis under high magnification revealed clash marks on both sides of the coin, subtle impressions where the coin dies struck each other without a planchet in place, leaving faint outlines of design elements where they shouldn't appear, like Lincoln's profile partially visible on the reverse near the steps of the memorial, an eerie ghosting effect that adds another layer of error complexity to this already overloaded coin. And these clash marks are especially significant because they indicate that the minting equipment had not only suffered misalignment but was operated in a flawed state for a period of time, striking coins with improper timing and maintenance, and what's even more remarkable is that despite all of these dramatic errors, the coin was found in near pristine condition, later graded MS-67 red by one of the most respected grading services in the world, an exceptional rating that confirms its brilliant color, minimal handling wear, and sharp design features, which only increases the coin's appeal, value, and rarity, because most error coins that go unnoticed into circulation suffer damage, scratches, and fading before they're ever recognized for their significance, but this 1996 D penny somehow retained its integrity, likely spending most of its life tucked away in a forgotten jar or drawer before being discovered. And when it was finally authenticated and presented to the collecting world, the reaction was immediate and explosive, as numismatists across the globe recognized it as one of the most extraordinary examples of modern minting failure to ever surface, and when it went to auction, the results were beyond anyone's wildest expectations, with fervent bidding from private collectors, museums, and investment groups all eager to own what many were calling the holy grail of late 20th century U.S. coinage. And when the final hammer fell at $111 million, it set a new standard for what was possible in the world of error coin collecting and solidified this coin's place in the upper echelon of numismatic history, and since then, its fame has only grown, with books, documentaries, and academic papers exploring every facet of its production, discovery, and implications for mint quality control in the 1990s, and its influence has sparked a renaissance of interest in 1996 pennies, with collectors scrutinizing their own collections, change jars, and bank rolls in hopes of finding anything remotely similar, but so far, no coin has emerged that comes close to matching the astonishing combination of errors found on this one, leading experts to conclude that it is likely a one-of-one specimen, a perfect storm of rare flaws captured forever in a single coin, and as such, it serves as a powerful reminder that even in an age of high-tech precision and strict quality assurance, mistakes can and do happen, and when they do, they can create masterpieces of accidental artistry, and this coin, in all its flawed glory, is a symbol of the unexpected. Magic that sometimes emerges from the ordinary, of the incredible stories hidden in the smallest of objects, and of the fortune that can lie just beneath the surface of what seems like everyday change. And if this story has captivated you, opened your eyes to the wonder of coins, or reignited your passion for collecting, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss another unbelievable journey into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins, because every penny has a story, and the next one could be worth millions.